Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Welcome to XAPfest. For those of you unaware, XAPfest is a contest for Microsoft summer interns, which was jointly envisioned and created by Windows Phone and Mobile Computing Research Center. So what did they have to do? Well, the challenge is they had to create an awesome Windows Phone app that uses cutting-edge Mango and Hawaii services. Hawaii services are, of course, a set of cloud services designed to enhance the mobile experience. And to top it off, they had only 2 months to do this. They had to do it in their spare time while working full-time at Microsoft. And by the way, this had to be a personal project, not part of their job at Microsoft. So for all that we're asking, what are we willing to give? A trip to Hawaii to relax and hang out in the sun, and also to meet Microsoft technical fellow Molson Ogden. Not a bad prize. And as I said, this all started back in June. XAPfest hosted some weekly tutorials where experts taught interns, many of whom had never before programmed on Windows Phone. These tutorials were actually so popular that even non-interns came, and Microsoft full-time employees as well. So now we've got a bunch of people that we need to thank who made this possible. First, we'd like to thank Ben Lauer from Windows Phone. Fortunately, Ben couldn't be here today. But we've got G2 Padye and Armand Samuel, both from MSR. Also, we had administrative help from Don Cox and Tam Ingelis. And our audio-video support today is being provided by MSR Media Team. We also, of course, need to thank the people who hosted all the tutorials. As I said, these were usually attended by more than 100 people. We've got Amen Afana, Carlo Rivero, Sean Henry, Charles Cox, Danny Dalal, Nick Harris, Jeff Wilcox, and Clint Rutgis and Larry Larson. So thank you all for making this possible and educating our interns about programming on Windows Phone. And we have a very esteemed panel of judges today. We've got Andy Lees, President for Windows Phone Division, Eric Jorgensen, Vice President at Bing, Matt Banke, GM at Windows Phone Division, Peter Lee, he's a distinguished scientist and Managing Director at Microsoft Research. We've got Rick Rashid, a Senior VP at MSR, Ron Pesner, Group Program Manager at IEB, and last but not least, Victor Ball, Director, MCRC. And at the end, the awards, the winners, are going to be announced and presented by Tony Hay, Corporate Vice President of Microsoft Research Connections. Now, what are the apps going to be judged on? What are our judges looking for? Well, of course, originality, design and visual appeal, innovative use of the Mango features, innovative use of Hawaii, our cloud services, and of course, the quality of their presentations. And let me tell you, these are some good presentations. I've seen them. So keep in mind, these apps were built in their spare time. For many of these people, for these interns, this is their first time ever programming for a Windows Phone. And we've got PhD students, undergrads, and even a high school intern. So it's very, very exciting. With that being said, let's get to the apps. First up, I'm going to bring up Andrei Borodin, who's going to show us cloud music. Andrei actually comes from a long line of programmers, and even his grandmother knows how to code. So come on up, Andrei. There he is.
Hi. So picture this, Times Square, DJ making a mix, playing it on his Windows Phone. His friend pulls out his phone, starts playing DJ's mix on his phone. Within minutes, the entire Times Square erupts into a flash mob of 1,000 people playing DJ's mix on their Windows phones. Now this could also be turned into a TV commercial. Camera zooms in on a bystander looking for the source of the music, and a slogan appears, "Join the fun, Windows Phone." And now we're going to look at just a quick video to introduce my app. Hi, my name is Andrei Borodin, and I'm part of the codename Papaya team. And what I want to demonstrate to you is my Music Cloud 7 app. Now, first and foremost, this is a music player app. So you can scroll over, find your now playing, your playlist, and your songs. And of course, you can press play and it'll play. Now, obviously, this is not too loud, I can talk over it. So it's just one phone, that's what you would expect from the speakers. Now the thing is, if I want to make more sound, I have 4 phones lined up here. I can host the cloud, get them to join, and right now I'm just gonna type in A, and host. And on these, I'm just gonna select that. And now I can choose and play music on all these phones. Now, if you can imagine, 4 phones playing, well, excuse me, 5 phones playing the same song at the same time, this could be actually pretty loud. Give me a second. Perfect. Who doesn't like Mozart? Now, a video is one thing. Do you guys want a live demo? Yeah. Keep in mind that the fun scales with the number of phones. I have currently 8. So if you listen quietly in a bit, you should start hearing Mozart coming out. Give it a few seconds to sync. Maybe a few more. I love it with these live demos. Sometimes things don't work correctly the first time. See if we can fix that. And that was due. Oh, wow. Believe it or not, the 8 phones I... That's just 8 phones playing right there.
Very cool, very cool. And now we'd like to take some questions or comments from the judges. Does anyone have anything they'd like to ask?
Sure, I'll ask.
Victor?
Yes.
So this is all good. I'm assuming that you're doing this over Wi-Fi, is that right?
Yes, it's over Wi-Fi.
So what happens when you do 3G and the latencies are not very predictable?
I'm not doing it
So
through
how do you synchronize between the audios when it's coming out?
I'm not doing it through 3G. I'm doing it through Wi-Fi.
Okay, but still, even through Wi-Fi, you might end up in a situation where the music is not completely synchronized, correct?
Yes, that situation may occur. There's some steps that could be taken to actually resynchronize the song several times while it's playing.
Okay.
So that can
But
be...
at this point, you're not doing that. It's just
No,
when
at
you're
this
just playing
point, I'm
the
not
music.
doing that.
Okay.
Where's the music stored?
Currently, the music's stored on all 9 phones.
So if the piece of music isn't on that phone, you have to get it to that phone somehow?
Yes, so the big idea is that the host phone would stream the music in a multicast fashion to all the other phones. The other phones will play it.
I see. But at the moment, each one has the piece of music and it synchronizes the play command, and that's how it works, is it?
Yes, that was due to having UDP with a lot of packet loss and me not having enough time to prevent that.
Great. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Another question, in the streaming scenario, how are you thinking about the rights issues? Are you thinking that it's like a sharing or rebroadcasting kind of situation, or does the person who's receiving it have to also have it in their library?
Well, the thing with that is, I thought about that actually, and I can't fully comment on the actual rights part. I'm not a lawyer, but this could be done in a fashion that would actually be lucrative for the distribution companies, the music companies. Because, for example, there's 8 phones. If you like the piece of music, you can always press a single button to buy it. Now, that's the simplest way because, let's say at a house party, someone's playing it on their speakers. You can't directly buy that song. So for music companies, this could be a very lucrative opportunity. So they may want that.
Great, great. Thanks, Andrei.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very cool. All right, next up we're going to bring up Marvin Cheng, and he's going to show his app called Optical Search. Excuse me. And Marvin Cheng's actually a local guy. He's a senior at UW. He's a computer engineering major and a math minor. Take it away.
So, are you a college student? Or a child that's just starting to learn the English language? Do you have a business card and want to look up an address, maybe through your phone? Well, Optical Search is a phone application that utilizes Hawaii's OCR service, so that can help you solve puzzles, look up words and directions, and also look up terminology within your favorite conference research paper. It is an application that's optimized to make the most out of your phone screen economy, and it is inspired by the beautiful concept of word clouds, where word has its own characters. Can you roll the video? Hey guys, welcome to XAPfest, and I hope you're enjoying the showcase of the unique Windows Phone applications being shown here today. My name is Marvin Cheng, and I am the developer of the application Optical Search. It basically is a reference tool that utilizes Bing, OCR, as well as dictionary services. And today, I'd like to give you a quick demo of what my application can do. One of the common cases for OCR is when the user wants to capture an address. Let's try it with the address for some pastry in Seattle. Once the service pings back with the recognized text, I can then create a query to run within Bing. In the second part of the demo, I have already processed 2 images from a history textbook with the OCR service. What's awesome is that the previous result is retained when taking new pictures, and there's always one unique instance of the word within the dataset. In this case, I can look up key figures like Thomas Edison using Bing, or I can look up a word in the dictionary. As you can see, when I go to the dictionary, there are 2 panels. The first panel is the definition of the word. The second panel is the list of synonyms for the word. Selecting a word from the synonym list will look up the respective definition in the dictionary. Alright, so before I go into my next demo, I would like to give you some context. So let's say there was a 70-year-old child who lives in rural China. And this child actually goes to a school that teaches English. But this school does not have any computers. In fact, the only kind of technology that they have are mobile phones. For example, the Windows Phone 7. Now, as a 7-year-old child, since he does live in a rural area, he's never seen technology before. More so, he gets even more confused when he uses something like a US keyboard in an English class. Let's say the teacher was to give a crossword puzzle, so for like a piece of homework. Now, if we can move over to the Wolf Vision, please. All right, thank you. So this is a typical crossword puzzle. It has a word bank as well as words to match. And let me open Optical Search. So let's say I'm a 7-year-old kid. I press Optical Search. And then I would like to open the camera. And I want to take a picture. If we can zoom in. Take a picture of the word bank here. And then I'll select Accept. Now this image is sent to the OCR service. And then once it pings back, there are a selection of words I can choose from. Let's say I want to cheat. I want to know what the definition of circumlocution is. I select this word, and I go to the dictionary. As you can see, it comes up with the definition of the word. Now, with a quick shake of the phone will vibrate to indicate that the screen has been cleared. Now, the last context, it says, let's say you're in a research conference. The only device that you have is a mobile phone. Now, what I have here is a paper on barrelfish. It's actually a project that's managed by MSR. And then you're in a conference and you want to look at a couple of keywords. Let's say you're interested in this paper. And want to see if there's any more information on the web that you can look up about barrelfish. So I can input barrelfish and go to Bing. And the first result is the barrelfish main website for the research paper. All right.
Great. Thanks, Marvin. And now for some questions and comments from the judges. Also, if anyone in the audience has any questions or comments, just raise your hand, and we'll get someone with a microphone over to you, so feel free to participate. But let's start with the judges. Also, just remind you guys to use the microphone when you're talking. Does anyone, any of the judges have a question or comment?
Sure, I have a question. Could you describe how you came up with the concept for the app?
The concept itself. One of the cases that I've seen in Silverlight is that usually people for some kind of anagram application on an iPhone or anything like that, there's always one single column of words to search through. I decided to, since with Silverlight, I was able to actually put 3 columns and to optimize the placement of the words. And basically, the user can easily choose a word, but with the most use of the screen economy on the phone. And this is something that the iPhone is not capable of. So.
How accurate is the result of your OCR?
So the OCR is actually based upon Hawaii's OCR service. It's actually the backend of Bing's OCR service. I basically sent up a 640 by 480 image. It's actually the optimal resolution that is declared inside the OCR document. So it's as accurate as it can get. It really depends on the OCR accuracy service. So.
Great. Yep, Victor?
So let's say if you had more time, more than 2 months, where do you want to take this?
So if I had more time, basically I can expand it to have voice. Basically with the voice to text kind of option for the Hawaii service, and then I can create queries based upon that. Another option is that based upon the China kid learning English, I can basically create a kind of slide card deck. Let's say the teacher was to scan a list of words, like a vocabulary of words, and then create a deck on the phone that the child can use to go through. Yes.
On your results, you had on your word cloud results, it looks like you had weighting on those texts, those returned results. Is that actually just formatting, or did that actually represent
weighting?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you talking about the different kind of sizes? Yeah, the sizes, the font sizes. So this is actually a feature in Mango. So now in Mango, a view box control is standard. So basically, a view box is the ability to resize the font of the text automatically based upon the amount of space that you allocated. So for each of those, each of the columns for each word, it has its own view box. So based upon the word length and height, the width and height, it'll resize based upon that result.
So you mean each word is the same size, and then whatever.
It'll expand based upon yeah. I think the fixed size is about 30 pixels to 60. Yeah.
So this also always require internet connection. Local service to do this.
So the Hawaii's OCR service requires an internet connection. You can, if you don't want to use the OCR service, you can use the application to input your own query and search Bing, or this application requires an overall internet connection to work.
How do you think of it differing from the Bing OCR that's shipping in Mango today, where you select the words first? Is it how do you treat? It looks like you're sending everything that's captured on the screen up.
Correct. So the thing about Bing, it's not to replace Bing. It's actually a different way to show the results. In Bing Vision, you actually select the words based upon white boxes on the image. Now, this is an alternative where you just want to get a list of words and then easily just browse through it and select the word. And another thing is that this application also allows you to use Flash, which is something that Bing Vision cannot do yet. So, yes?
So what do you envision the benefit this application gives you over typing in the words yourself?
Now,
you
okay.
type into a search box the same words that you see on the page.
Correct, but if
or you could open up an application and take a picture.
Correct.
It seems like one has more steps than the other.
Maybe. So it really depends on what you prefer. If you're on a rush, maybe. So for example, this research paper, there's a lot of terminology that you don't know. And let's say you want to look up the definitions or look up on Bing each of the definitions for this terminology, right? It'd probably be faster if you take a picture and have a list of all the terminology, or the other option is to type it in yourself, which is much more of a hassle. Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right.
Or
one more question. Go ahead.
All right, testing. Can you use photos you've already taken, or do you have to use them at the time?
You have to use them at the time. It doesn't currently support taking running queries over photos you already taken.
Because it might be nice, like as a future.
Yeah, that could be an option in the future.
Yeah, you snap something you want to remember later.
Give him 2 more months.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Marvin.
Right, thank you.
Very good job. All right, next up we have Gary Roumanis. Unfortunately, Gary couldn't be here today, but he did send a video, and his application is called 8 Tracks. So do we have Gary on the line?
You guys hear me all right?
Hi, Gary.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. Why don't you tell the audience about your app?
Well, I made the video, so hopefully that will present it good enough. I'm kind of here for Q&A. Let's just dive right into the video and take a look at that.
Great. Roll the tape.
Hey guys, I'm Gary Roumanis. I'm an intern in Bing Ad Center, and I'm pursuing a joint honors degree in math and computer science at McGill University, which is in Montreal, Quebec. Being a university student, music is an essential component of my life, so I've created a social internet radio application that takes advantage of the 8 Tracks API. 8 Tracks essentially allows users to create handcrafted mixes, share these mixes, follow other users, comment, all this social experience within the music world. So I'm just going to dive into the actual application and show you what it's all about. So after a quick splash screen where it loads, you're presented with a panoramic view. And basically, these are some mixes I've been listening to recently. You can see the featured mixes of this week, and of course, you can browse by genre, or you can even search by typing in a key phrase. So the great thing about 8 Tracks is that you can type in a tag such as summer or a feeling, and it'll come up with a perfect mix for that occasion. Browsing mixes is very easy. You can see what's popular that month, and of course it just keeps loading because there's thousands and thousands of mixes. You can see mixes that are hot that week and up and coming, and you can see, of course, mixes that just got created and brand new. So anyways, I'm going to just pop back to the main screen and click on a mix I've been listening to a lot recently. So this mix right here, it's a little electronic mix I've been listening to. I'm going to play it just for a quick second. And since I've been listening to this mix recently, I can show you the track history easily and kind of see what I've been listening to. Obviously, you can see what other people comment on the mix, and you can even comment on the mix yourself if you like. Let me just pop back in for a quick second. Since I've been listening to this mix so much, I really like it. I can easily click this like button. It's liked, it's going to be my profile. I can easily get it from the main screen. So the great thing about 8 Tracks is the social experience, so I can see who's created this mix. And she's been creating a lot of great mixes recently, if you see all these mixes right here. So I can actually follow this user and see all her new upcoming mixes whenever she does create them. Of course, I can see what she's listening to as well and see what she likes. So let me just pop back to the home screen. With Mango, you see the music is still playing in the background. I can pull up any application and pause and stop it. Obviously, using the live tile, it will flip the album art and show you kind of the tags and genre of it. So let me just quickly show you the last little Mango bit right here. So from the lock screen, of course, I can play, pause, and skip with the Mango. So that's a quick demo of my application. I hope you guys liked it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thanks, Gary. And I just want to point out that that application is actually pre-installed on the phones in front of the judges. So if you wanted to fool around with it before you, or while you ask the questions, just letting you know. But let's open it up to some questions.
All right.
Anyone?
Are they too busy?
Well, I think they're playing with the app. But Gary, I want to ask you, who would you say your target audience is?
So it's more, this web service is definitely geared more towards university students because they are the ones that are really taking advantage of social and taking advantage of making these mixes. But honestly, the mixes on there are so wide and variety that you can have everything from classical to some really new age hipster stuff. So hopefully everybody can just dive right in and find some great mixes that they'll enjoy.
Very cool.
So, quick first question. I'm sorry, just a real quick question, Gary. So, how are you maintaining a friends list for this and saving the information like what you like and how you follow people?
So that's within their API calls. Maintaining the past history and whatnot, I do internally with just the local data store, like the recently played and whatnot. But it was API calls, setting up the secure connection with the profile, and then actually storing the profile information is done on our side. But again, it's secure in the sense that we're not storing any login information or user passwords.
Gary, I have another question. Where are the lists hosted, and how does the music play? Is it
So it's all streaming. You can't. It's not stored on the phone for obvious reasons of legal issues, and it's hosted by the 8-track service. And I'm actually in talks with them right now to work out the deal for. I did not have enough time to implement the ad-supported version, but that will obviously remain a free version so that any user can just download this app and take advantage of streaming music wherever they are. And I've been using this application in my car for like 2 weeks or so, and it works flawlessly on the 3G connection, so I really like it on the mobile go.
And Gary, you've never programmed for Windows before, is that correct?
I actually never programmed in C# or Silverlight, the GUI interface. I'd never done that before, so it was a new experience, but the toolkits they have were phenomenal, and like the code samples were great. Some of the tools, I was getting some performance issues down. Hopefully it comes across. I'm really trying to make it as fluid and as seamless as the Zune app. So I found a lot of great toolkits online, and one of them that really boosted my performance was created internally by another Microsoft employee. So I sent him a nice little ping thanking him and congratulating him on his good work. So the amount of material out there is awesome. I've done a little bit of coding on the iPhone and the Android, and just the experience overall was leagues and leagues ahead.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. All right. Thank you, Gary. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, next up I'm going to bring up Ian Christopher and his app called Hands Free Cook. Ian is actually a math geek at Stanford who also loves to cook. Come on up, Ian.
Hi.
There you are.
Hi, guys. My name's Ian, and I love to cook. Unfortunately, cooking isn't always easy, especially when you're following a new recipe or something like that. And modern phone applications aren't really great. I mean, the phone itself is a little bit of a limitation. You're interacting with this piece of machinery with just a small touchscreen, right? I can't tell you the number of times I've been cooking something and have had butter, grease, flour, you name it on my hands. Things that I don't want coming near my phone, much less its touchscreen. Well, to help address this problem, my office mate Roberto and I, Roberto's in Brazil, his internship ended last Friday, so he couldn't make it, but we developed Hands Free Cook. Hands Free Cook lets you navigate through recipes using only your voice, continuous audio recognition, and will also speak back recipe steps to you using the Bing Speech API. And with that, I'll turn it over to the video. Hi, my name's Ian.
And I'm Roberto.
And we're going to show you our application, Hands Free Cook, which lets you navigate a cooking application without using your hands.
Yeah, so let's see how it works here. So here we have our application. I'm going to start it. And then the first thing in the recipe app is just search for your favorite recipe. So let's search here for pie, for example, a recipe of pie. So you can find, we have about 50,000 recipes in the service that we're using to access this. Then when you choose a recipe, you're going to get an overview of the recipe. You can navigate and see the ingredients, see the directions. And then when you decide that this is the recipe you want to do, then comes the nice part, which is the hands-free mode. So if you start the hands-free mode, you're going to have the phone read out to you the instructions while you can navigate with your voice. So let's start that.
3 teaspoon Italian seasoning, 2 ounce extra.
So you can stop it by simply making any loud noise or just saying something loud. It will stop completely. And then you can navigate using your voice. So let's try it here. Next.
Preheat oven to 400 degrees.
So you can snap or clap or just say quiet, and it will completely stop. You can also tell it to repeat, go back. So let's try. Once again.
Preheat oven to 400.
So it stopped. And then when you finish your recipe, you say, wow, this recipe is really good. I'm going to do it again. So you can use one cool feature of Mango, which is pinning to the start screen. So now I have pinned my app to the start screen. I have a beautiful live tile here. I can jump straight to the recipe from my start screen. And also, another cool feature of Mango that we're using here is that you're able to share the recipe with your friends using only one button. You can share it on Twitter, on Windows Live, on Facebook, straight from the app if you really like your recipe. So that's pretty much it. This is Hands Free Cook, and I hope you liked it.
Thanks. All right. So now I guess we'll move to a demo. I will say that we've calibrated this for like a room, like a kitchen, that type of thing, not so much an audience with a microphone system, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it should work fine, but just a word of warning. So, okay, so here we go. I think speech search is coming next in the next version of the app, but for now, we type this in, search pi, short, easy to type. So here are our recipes that the API has returned. Let's try pumpkin pie. So here, users can kind of see if they want to cook this. They can go through like an overview, how long it's going to take, some of the ingredients, things like that. Nutritional facts will also be added in the next version. So once they decide they like an app, they can start hands-free mode.
3 1/3 cups pie filling, 10 tablespoons fat-free evaporated milk, 2 cups corn flakes, 3/4 cup Crispix cereal.
Okay. So, yeah, so here you can look through
Combine corn
different
flakes
steps.
and Crispix into a plastic bag. Begin to crush cereal and
Is there any type of recording going on with the audio jack? No? Okay.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, so unplug it.
Okay. All right, well, I'll turn this up all the way. I don't think it's going to help, but...
milk fat-free butter spread. Then stir in ground cinnamon and no-calorie sweetener packets.
Next.
Add crushed cereal to butter mixture and fold it into dispensed butter evenly. Coat pie pan with no-calorie butter cooking spray.
Okay. Once again.
Add crushed cereal to butter mixture. Add crust mixture to coat.
So here you can navigate ingredients. 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 All right, well, looks like it's having some issues right now.
Combine pump.
So, there you go.
It worked yesterday, I swear.
Yeah.
Flawless. Does anyone out there have any questions for Ian and his hands-free cook?
Where's the recipe stored? What's your source?
We're using, it's Fat Secret is the API that we're using. There's roughly 50,000 recipes. It's the best API that we could find in the short term. You know, of course, if we put this in the marketplace, we'll have to talk with them to get more API accesses per amount of time, something like that. But it does pretty well and has all the information we want.
Across those, the steps are all clear that you can suck them out and use them. They're all tend to be formatted pretty well, or just some good and some bad.
From what we've seen, yeah, I mean, they all look fine. Yeah.
So what's the first thing you made?
What's the first thing we made?
Yeah, with the app.
Well, we haven't actually made anything yet, unfortunately. This is finished pretty recently, but, you know.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
I'm a bit of a baker, so, I mean, honestly, just like a simple apple pie is like really easy to make and like I'm also like from the Northeast, so it's like really nice to go pick apples in the fall and like, anyway.
Probably should have brought some pie for everyone.
Should have.
Improved your chances.
How many commands do you support? And is there a place where users learn what terms